Welcome to BBC Motor Reviews channel. SINNIS AKUMA 125, 2022 on review. Priced at £2,599, the AKUMA significantly undercuts the popular Honda MSX 125 GROM, which is its obvious target. And though my preference is for traditional-looking bikes with a retro feel, like the WK Scrambler or SINNIS' own Outlaw, after riding the updated AKUMA, I'm genuinely impressed. Ride quality and handling are altogether spot on, and though not the outright fastest, it's plenty quick enough. Yes, perhaps the seat leans you a bit too far forwards, and at 6 foot tall my knees are a bit high, but this aggressive style and involving feel make the AKUMA a confidence-inspiring and solid first ride for any newcomer. If I wasn't a skint student on part-time wages, I'd buy one without a moment's hesitation. Can't say much more than that. For 2022, the SINNIS has larger 14 inches wheels, upgraded from the previous 12 inches. Still small, they improve handling and give a stable feel around corners, while still making the AKUMA very agile at low speed and in close quarters. The handling is smooth too, thanks to the suspension and low center of gravity, and with the seat pushing you forwards you can really feel every inch the bike. Leaning forwards into corners and tucking in on the straights, the AKUMA might be a modern monkey bike but rides like, well, a proper bike. They call it the mini monster and it deserves the nickname, being a down-to-earth yet modern bike that both looks and rides the part. Being angled steeply forward means the seat does affect comfort, and with the abrupt shape of the tank you need to be gentle with the brakes. The AKUMA is also very compact, it's physically smaller than my own WK Scrambler 50. However, although perhaps better suited to smaller riders, with its 820mm seat height the SINNIS happily supports 6 feet of teenager. Both the front and rear brakes very good, and they're combined, which means the front is linked to the rear. There's no ABS, however. Being air-cooled instead of liquid-cooled doesn't really match the modern style of the AKUMA, and with 9.7 brake horsepower it's not as powerful as other more modern bikes. However, this also means welcome simplicity and you'll get your money's worth of reliability. It's also fast enough. Accelerating sharply and with a more than adequate 67 miles per hour indicated top speed, the AKUMA feels swift and has the smoothest, easiest gear change of any 125 cubic centimeters bike I've ridden. Most noticeable of all the AKUMA's features is the 3-tiered exhaust. It's not just an eye-catching MV Augusta styling trick but 3 fully functioning pipes that sound ace as well as looking great. With aggressive shapes, new blacked-out finishes, steel trellis frame, which is non-structural, and its raised tank giving the look of an arched back and so resembling a big cat, go on, imagine, riding the AKUMA makes me feel like I stand out from the crowd. Which is important for the teenage market. Switchgear, components and overall finish look and feel pretty good for a $2,500 bike. Some fasteners and smaller parts will need coating with anti-corrosion treatment for winter use, but that's true of some bikes costing 5 times as much. And overall the SINNIS does a good job of disproving preconceptions about cheap, flimsy Chinese bikes. Honda's trendy MSX 125 GROM costs £3,849. Yes, it's a bit nicer finished than the SINNIS and will hold its value better, but it's only got the same power, and the extra £1,300 over the AKUMA can be a big ask for a cash-strapped teen. Benelli's TNT 125 is also made in China and costs the same as the SINNIS. It's got a couple of horses more and a neat-looking trellis frame, but it's also a tad gaudy and in your face. Picking between them is as much down to their image and personal preference as anything else. Tech fan? You'll be interested to learn that the display now has multiple color options as well as brightness settings. At first, I thought it was just another knick-knack, however it is helpful especially in changing weather or when looking through a tinted visor. And it's like socks with days of the week on, every day can be a new color. The display is also crystal clear and comes with a small array of function as expected: time, trip, odometer. Something that I quite like are the large buttons that the SINNIS uses. None of this tapping the wrong control malarkey, just big simple buttons, easy as you like. 2019, SINNIS AKUMA launched late in the year as a 2020 model. Modern monkey bike with air-cooled 4-stroke single and 12-inch wheels. 2022, upgraded with larger wheels, jazzy new clocks, plus more refined styling and colors. Replacing the stock bike's KYB suspension, the SP features Gen 2 Öhlins semi-active suspension, NIX30 SV forks and a TTX36 SV shock, which automatically controls the damping levels while leaving spring preload manually adjustable. Featuring spool valves rather than traditional needles valves, which Öhlins claim deliver faster adjustment and a more accurate responsiveness at the low and high ends of the adjustment range, the SP suspension can be set in one of 3 semi-active damping modes, A1, A2 or A3, or one of 3 manual setting, M1, M1 or M3, which remove the semi-active function and allow fixed damping settings to be selected via the dash. An incredibly impressive system, the semi-active suspension responds to undulations in the road surface instantly, smoothing them out and making the SP feel like it is gliding over the bumps. Harsh ones still give you a kick, but unlike on a conventional system, the semi-active damping instantly recovers and keeps the MT nicely composed, a feature that reduces its tendency to shake its head when exiting bends under hard acceleration. On the UK's roads, A2 is the best option for bumpy B roads where A1 suits fast, smoother road better, and A3 is more for straight line cruising, as when the pace ups it feels a bit soft at the rear end. And the SP's brakes are better too. Fitting braided steel lines can make a bike's brakes feel horribly dead at the lever as they lack rubber lines comforting initial squish. However, on the SP there is still enough feel to allow you to apply small amounts of pressure accurately via the new Brembo radial master cylinder. They don't scream race bike and aren't as fierce in their bite as some rivals' setups, but are fine for use on the road, and it is great to see the SP and stock MT now featuring cornering ABS thanks to the addition of an IMU in this latest generation. Good and bad news with the new Euro 5 compliant engine. Starting with the good, thanks to the revised fuel injection system, the throttle response is now smooth. In B mode, A mode is still a bit too aggressive for road use, and the crossplane's enhanced mid-range surge of power is staggering, as is the wonderful offbeat sound, which has been tuned through a new intake system and feel. But despite lengthening its gearing, the MT remains a noticeably thirsty bike and recorded 41 miles per gallon on our test ride, which is what Yamaha claim, but still equates to a range of just 155 miles until the 17-liter tank is empty. If you opt for the SP, alongside the Öhlins suspension you gain braided steel brake lines as standard, as well as a 3-piece belly cowl, black bars and levers, and a stitched seat. Unlike the stock bike, which comes in 3 color options, cyan, blue and black, the SP is only available in Icon Performance, and it also features a polished metal finish on its swing arm where the stock bike has a black painted one. Everything else, including the engine and electronics package, is identical between the 2 MT10 models, which is good news for MT10 owners but a bit disappointing for SP owners who may feel like they deserve something extra to brag about aside from suspension. Which brings up the question of price. The MT10 SP costs £2,500 more than the stock MT10 at £16,000, which is tantalizingly close, especially when you look at a finance package. On a PCP deal after a £3,000 area deposit, you are looking at paying about £35 a month more for the SP when compared to the stock bike. That's about the price of a takeaway meal for 2 every month, which seems a small sacrifice to gain that all-important Öhlins bling. In terms of running costs, both the SP and stock MT10 have the same poor fuel economy and cost roughly the same to insure and service, so that's not a factor in ownership, and the SP should hold its residual value a bit better. How does it stack up against its rivals? Very well. The SP is £16,000, where a Ducati Street Fighter V4 is £19,551 or £21,651 in S-Guise with semi-active suspension. The Aprilia Tuono V4 factory is 16,900 pounds, the KTM Super Duke EVO 17,899 pounds, Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS 15,500 pounds, which lacks semi-active suspension, and the Kawasaki ZH2 SE 19,079 pounds. Sharing the same tech package as the stock MT, the SP is no less impressive when it comes to its safety assists. Thanks to a 6-axis IMU, you get cornering ABS and TC as well as slide control and anti-wheelie that sit alongside an up/down shifter, engine braking control, cruise control and variable power modes, all of which are controlled via the new 4.2-inch color TFT dash, which lacks connectivity. While the electronics perform faultlessly, and the quickshifter is excellent, it is tricky to see which of the various acronyms you are selecting should you wish to tweak their